Hello, my dear friends. Welcome to your own channel, Fundamentals of Engineering. Today, we are going to discuss the concept of time, speed, and distance (TSD). Here, the basic part we are going to discuss. So, whenever any object is travel from one location to another location, it covers some certain distance, and this distance to cover it takes time, and to cover this distance with respect to time, it acquires some speed. So how to calculate that time, speed and distance, that we are going to see in our this lecture series, time, speed and distance. Today we are going to convert the basic part of the time, speed, distance. Here we are going to see the average speed. So whenever the objects is travel from one location to another location, the distance travel is constant. Then how to calculate the average speed? And the time taken by the objects is constant. Then how to calculate the average speed? That we are going to see in this lecture. So watch the full video. If you like it, you can subscribe our channel and click on bell icon to get more notification. Now, first of all, whenever the objects is moved, when we are given the motion to any object. Now you can see the railway track. On this railway track, there is a train. So whenever the train is moved from one location to another location by the application of motion. So the motion is the phenomenon in which an object it changes its position over time. So we have seen the objects or the train, it has first position. When it's given the motion, it travels certain distance, and due to that distance is coming to the location second. So that is happened due to the motion. As we know that motion can be described or which can be used as a displacement, distance traveled, velocity acquired by that object, acceleration, retardation, speed and time. So here in our mathematical term, we are going to discuss the objects when it travels from one position to the second position. For that it takes some time, and whenever that position is acquired, it travels certain distance. So distance is that the total movement of an object without any regard of the direction. Whenever we give the motion, that objects it travels from this location to this location, and for that it take time. So time is the measured or measurable period during which an action, process or condition exists or continues. So this object is travel from this location to this location. For that it takes time, and in between that it covers some distance. So whenever the distance is traveled in certain time, that is referred as the speed of that object. So speed which can be given by the distance traveled by an object, we can't consider the direction. Whenever the object is travel certain distance with respect to time, that is known as speed. So this time, speed, distance are used extensively for the questions relating to the circular motions, boats, streams, motion in straight line, for the clocks, races and train problem. And for that we have to be find out the relation between this distance, time and speed. So what is that distance? The derivation or any relation between this time, speed and distance. As we know, speed is given by the distance traveled with respect to the time. So speed is given by the objects travel the distance with respect to time. So when we know the speed and distance, we can calculate the time, which is given as distance traveled with a certain speed. Distance traveled by the objects, any objects with a certain speed. By using that we can calculate the time. And if we know that how much speed the object is moving in this much time, then we can calculate the distance as speed it gains to travel in required time. So by using that, these three derivations, we can calculate any missing term. So we have known that speed is equal to distance upon time. If we know the distance traveled by the objects and the time taken to travel that distance, then we can calculate the speed. And if we know the speed and distance, we can calculate the time. And if we know the speed and time by that object, then we can calculate the distance. So this time, speed and distance, for that, whenever you see any question, there are some conversions, means we are given the value of speed in kilometer per hour and we have to calculate the speed of object in meter per second. So how to convert that? For that, we have to know the some values. What are the values? We know that 1 kilometer is nothing but in the meters 1000, and 1 hour is nothing but 60 minutes, and in that 60 minutes we are having 60 seconds. So in 1 hour we are having 3600 seconds. So now if you want to convert 1 kilometer per hour, so we have to divide 1000 with a 3600. So 1000 meter divided by 3600 second. So if you convert this, and if you simplify this, we are getting the ratio of 5 by 18 meter per second. So 1 kilometer per hour is 5 by 18 meter per second. So you have to remember this ratio. So by using that ratio, we can convert any value which is in kilometer per hour into meter per second. Now sometimes we are given the meter per second and we have to convert that value in kilometer per hour. So remember this formula, 5 by 18, the ratio. Now the meter is smaller than the kilometer. So kilometer is the larger value. Now whenever meter we want to convert into kilometer, so smaller quantity we need to convert into the larger quantity. That time ratio should be higher. So 1 meter per second, if you want to convert into the kilometer per hour, then that ratio should be 18 divided by 5. 18 divided by 5. So we have to remember that if smaller quantity we want to convert into larger one, numerator should be larger, means numerator should be 18, and the larger quantity if you want to convert into smaller one, means kilometer if you want to convert into meter, so numerator should be a smaller one, numerator should be 5. So remember this ratio and how to use it. Whenever smaller is converted into larger, numerator should be a larger number, and larger is converted into smaller, numerator should be a smaller number. So by using that you can do the conversions. Then another conversion factors are used that I given, that 1 yard is equal to 3 feet, 1 mile is given as 1.609 kilometer. Sometimes the values are given in a miles per hour, we have to convert into kilometer per hour. For that we require this relation, that is 1 mile is equal to 1.609 kilometer. Also if you want to convert into the yards, so 1 mile is equal to 1760 yards. 1 mile, if you want to convert into feet, then we are having 1 mile is equal to 5280 feet. Then if you want to convert feet into inch, then also you can convert. So what are the conversions? You can put that into the comment box. Feet into inch and inch into mm. That value you have to keep into the comment box. Now miles per hour, if you want to convert into feet per second, for that what we require? 1 mile is how much? Feet? 5280 divided by hour, it need to convert into seconds. So we have to divide with the 3600. If you do the simplification, you will get the ratio of 22 divided by 15. Just like we got 5 by 18 here, 1 miles per hour, if you want to convert into feet per second, that is 22 divided by 15. Same, miles per hour, if you want to convert yards per second, then the ratio is 22 divided by 45. So you can take the screenshot that you have to remember, and you have to use whenever we want to convert into one unit to the another unit. Now where we are going to use this time speed distance. So earlier at the start we have seen that we are going to use the basic concept of time speed distance to calculate the average speed. So here we are going to see the case 1 when the distance traveled is constant. Now for that we'll see one example. So question is given as, on his way to college, Karthik was traveling at 35 km per hour, and his return journey to home he was traveling at 45 km per hour. So what was his average speed we need to calculate. So Karthik regularly travels from home to college. Home to college. So whenever he travels from home to college, he takes 35 km per hour, and whenever he travels again back college to the home, he takes 45 km per hour. Right. Now the distance between home and college is constant. Now we need to calculate average speed. So we have having two speed. So how to calculate? Suppose the speed 1 is given as 35 km per hour and speed second is given as 45 km per hour. At that time the average speed we have to get by using distance is constant. Distance is constant. That time 2xy upon x plus y. 2xy upon x plus y. So 2 into 35 into 45 divided by 35 plus 45. So there we'll get the average speed. So if you want to calculate how we are getting, 2 into 35 into 45, that is 3150 divided by 35 plus 45, that is 80. So we are getting 3150 divided by 80. That we are getting average speed near about 39 km per hour. 39 km per hour. So here when the distance is constant, we have to use the average speed formula as 2xy upon x plus y. X is the speed 1, y is the speed second. Now the second application, whenever the time taken by the object is constant to traverse certain distance. For that, see the example. A car is traveling towards the north at an average speed of 45 km per hour for 40 minutes and 55 km per hour for the next 40 minutes. Calculate the average speed of a car. So from this location, first location, the car is traveling and it travels near about 40 minutes and it travels at 45 km per hour. Now from this second location, again it travels for the 40 minutes and reach the location third with a speed of 55 km per hour. Now we want to calculate the average speed. So at that time x we are having 45 km per hour and y we are having 55 km per hour. So average speed at when the time taken by the object is constant, that is x plus y divided by 2. So x is the speed 1, that is 45 km, plus y is the speed second as 55 km divided by 2. So 45 plus 55, how much? 100 divided by 2. So this will be a average speed of 50 km per hour. So average speed of car is 50 km per hour. So these two concepts are used whenever we are going to solve the train problem, boat problem. So time taken is constant and distance taken is constant. At that time, wow, the calculate the average speed that we have seen, right? So hope you like this. If you like it, stay connected and don't forget to subscribe our channel. Click on bell icon to get more notification. Thank you very much.